Wait till you see what's next. Oh my God, Dion Kipling. This is the Positive Forces show, always giving you more, sending you positive vibes.
To change your
I'm
life.
your host, Kimone Hall.
And I'm your co-host, Yola.
Hey, in the house.
And I'm Dwan, the one to help you on your life journey.
Where's Dwan? We're not hearing you, Dwan.
I think it's on delay.
Dwan. Let's go. Let's get that volume working, Dwan.
It's on. I don't know what's
Hey,
wrong. I
happy
don't know why you
weekend
guys
to
can't
you
hear me.
guys. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. Yes, guys, this is a great day to be alive and a great day to be off. And a great day to have a whole week off. And guys, it's
Oh.
official for the kids. You notice I said for kids.
Yes.
The kids have spring break.
We really mean you too.
Yo, listen, man. Yeah, I do. Guys, I'm on vacation. I am loving it. I am so happy.
She has her own theme song, guys.
Yeah. I'm loving it. Oh my God. Welcome, YouTube's family, Viscosity Blend, Zion Highness Radio, Reggae Global Radio family. We are excited to be here with you because we are going to continue our show from last week. The last time we were here, we're going to be talking about still about the insecurities and jealousies that occurs in relationship. And we're definitely going to delve in deeper with our psychotherapist, Dwan Blend.
Yes, the one is back.
Glad to be
Dwan,
here,
let's
guys.
go. Let's do a check, mic check, Dwan. This is what's going on live radio. Always do this.
I know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh no. Can you hear me?
Well, we see her lips moving.
Yes, we see the one's lips moving. You guys can see the one's lips moving.
But we do not
We
hear
are not
her.
hearing.
Ladies,
Oh.
Lisa,
Okay.
how we doing, Lisa?
What's up, Lisa?
Hey, hope you're doing well, Lisa. Happy weekend to you. All right, let's stop. Do we have a Yoli start?
Yes, let's start with
We
prayer.
do? Okay,
Mhm.
okay, good.
And then we will jump right into. I too am going to continue what we talked about last week with you guys. But
Whoa, Lisa is saying she can hear
can't hear
Dwan.
Dwan.
She can.
Oh, she can hear Dwan.
Oh,
Okay.
oh well, thank
Oh,
you.
it's us then. What's up?
That interesting.
Do you want me to try to put my headphones in, or I don't know if I could try the headphones. Let's see.
Wow. We never
And if you want,
Help. Can you hear me better? No. I'll leave and I'll come back. Let me try that.
and conversations for us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. The one she'll be back soon.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on and do our Yoli of the day.
Yes. So my thought of today is a continuation of the last time we were on, and it had to do with effective communication. So last time we were on, I talked about one part of effective communication, which is having the ability to listen.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
listening is also an important part of effective communication.
Yeah.
So today I want to concentrate or talk about briefly the talking part of effective communication.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So lately I have been struggling with a that in my thoughts, doesn't have effective communication skills. And
Okay.
the example that I'm going to give you is that if you are a person in charge of something, manager, supervisor, whatever, you should always have, even your pastor should always have effective communication with you, the people that are under these people. So, like, if you have a directive, if you're going to say be going somewhere for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, this is something that the people that work under you should know, right?
Yeah.
So that is also a part of effective communication. It's not just being able to say something, listen, and respond with something that is related or relatable to what the person is saying to you, but it's also being able to have the ability to tell somebody, if you're in charge, what your comings and goings are, because these
Mhm.
people look at you for guidance. They look at you to answer questions if they can't. They look at you for in any kind of retail kind of situation, or even a teacher and a principal situation.
Right.
We look at the higher ups, the upper management, to be able
Mhm.
to give us guidance when we need it, but also to be to have our backs if something goes wrong,
Correct.
right? Like in a simple retail situation, I'm a customer, I come in, I have an issue with the person behind the counter for whatever reason. My
Mhm.
response is, can I speak to your manager? Your response should be, go speak to the manager. And the manager should say, okay, I'll be right there.
Mhm.
If they need, another part of effective communication in that scenario is your ability to tell your manager a brief summary of what the issue is, so that they're not going in blindsided.
Right.
But your manager should be able to tell you, well, hey, I'm not available for these couple of days. This is what I want you to do. So in that scenario, a manager should also, or management should also have effective communication. So that's my thought. Let's just remember, people, management situations, that you too, especially you, have to have effective communication, because we are looking at you to give us guidance, and you should lead by example.
Mm. That
So that is
was
Yoli's corner.
wow.
And I think I'm
Mhm.
still going to talk more about effective communication, because as I'm delving into this, Yoli's thought, sorry, not corner, Yoli's thought, I am seeing that there's lots of facets and parts of effective communication for it to actually work.
Mm.
Whether it is in a two people situation, a relationship situation, parents and their children, or even managing people, you need to have effective communication. So there you
Yeah.
go.
You know what? And the one. Did you hear all that?
Yep, I
What do you
heard.
have? What are your thoughts, the one?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
perfectly clear. Yeah.
loud and clear. You sound
Okay, good.
fantastic.
Well, I agree with everything y'all said about effective communication. I think some people have to think of communication always as something that's reciprocal. So you're actively listening and you're
Mm.
stating your opinions in a clear, concise manner, meeting the person where they are. Whether like if you like Yola was, for
Mhm.
example, a boss or a client or somebody in a romantic relationship or a parent to a child, you have to realize that the
Mhm.
the place of the person that you are talking with them, but then making sure that the communication is clear, it's concise, it's comforting. There's no uh, balance and control, power balance between you guys, that's taken out of the picture as well. So I think it's good, because I think most of talking is listening, and a lot of people don't listen, and they miss a lot of the points where they could make the communication effective. So I agree.
That's true. A lot of people just are waiting for that pause so that they can respond
Mhm.
or they can interject and throw themselves in as opposed to
That's
like
true.
listening to
Mhm.
understand, you know?
Yeah, and that's true. And the answer, instead of listening to understand and communicate effectively in that your
Mhm.
response makes sense to what the person is saying,
Yeah.
you're just listening to answer
Hmm.
and
Right.
not
Mhm.
really to comprehend what the person is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
that's a very good point, Kimon.
Yeah.
And you too, Duan. Love it.
Yeah. Well, that's it for Yoli's thought of the day, guys. Make sure that you are communicating effectively with everyone, especially if you are in um, a position of authority and you have people that are under you and you're guiding them and leading them. All right. Work on it. Work on the skills, guys. There are so many YouTube videos that can teach you how to do
Mhm.
that if you're a manager. If you have no other option of going to maybe a professional development, like utilize the skills, the tools that are there, and it can definitely help you. All right. How you doing, Dwan in Florida?
Hot, very hot. I think it's over 90, almost 90 degrees here. And I know I complain about it, but it's so hot. It's so hot.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That yeah, Viola would be burning out because we're hot here in Atlanta too.
Yeah,
Oh man.
we're hot. We're only in the 80s, but
Yeah, I love it.
yeah, not so much right now.
Not so much these
As
days,
we,
I
but
don't
it's
love it.
still
No.
summer over
Mm-mm.
here.
yes.
No, please.
Hey guys, thank you, family, for always keeping it locked with us on YouTube's Radio Berlin and Zion Highness Radio, Reggae Global Radio. Marlon, big up yourself. DJ VJ Smiles. Oh my God, I love you, love you, love you. Ross Dugal. Bra, pa, 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 pa. All right, so we're going to go into our topic, and our topic is going to be a continuation of causes of insecurity and jealousy in relationships. And we wanted to especially have this segment again because Dewan was is our psychotherapist, and she wasn't able to
Hmm.
be here bit with us the last time, and we want to get a
Yeah.
more in-depth insight on that, the insecurities and the jealousies that occur within people that causes them to be able to be so ineffective in relationships. So let's get
Hmm.
into that. Duan, if you want to start out, that would be fantastic. Just your thoughts on jealousy in a relationship,
Yeah, the root
the
cause
root
of it,
causes of
of
it.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
between jealousy and insecurity.
Hmm. Well, I think the root cause of jealousy is insecurity. Insecurity with oneself. It could be because of looks, because of things that other people haven't, that the person that's jealous hasn't accomplished that the other person has, the abilities the other person has that they don't have. So it's a reflection of lack of why people tend to be jealous, right? Also, a lot of it is just people
Mm,
not um, having empathy and respect for other people sometimes because they just um, want to overshadow the person. So I think like the main thing when thinking about jealousy is lack of self esteem
mhm.
and lack of belief in oneself. So I think that's like the main thing with jealousy are people that tend to be jealous, and then a lot of times we see jealousy coming out as anger towards the other people, bullying, things like that. So the root cause and then the effects of jealousy.
Last time we were on, we talked about how a lot of it could have stemmed from childhood, and we
Mm-hmm.
talked about how not only does it still fester and follow you as you become an adult, but it's
Mm-hmm.
something that someone sometimes never even remember these things that occur, something that just pops up back out of nowhere. It could be something that, the parents neglected them, so now they have this abandonment issue. It could be
Mhm.
where, you know they had brothers and sisters that, they always had to compete with, so a sense of jealousy was always there. So the jealousy will
Mhm.
continue to form. And you talked about looks. Looks can be a problem where someone, I'm jealous because of how I look, my insecurities of how I think I portray myself.
Mhm.
So I say to that person, like, you know, l- look into why you think so. Who told you you weren't pretty? Who told you that you weren't enough? There's
Mhm.
somebody usually tells somebody something, and I just think that somebody told them that from the beginning, and they heard it. Somebody compared them, even if it was in middle school, high school. Somebody told them they weren't enough, so then they put that on themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see how Dewan's points can stem from a person's childhood. And I can also see how Dewan's points are prevalent in adulthood. You know,
Mhm.
this insecure or jealousy towards other people because you think that they look better than you do,
Mhm.
or the lack of empathy. Yeah, you not feeling sorry or compassionate or giving someone else grace and thinking that you really don't know what that person has been through
Mhm.
to be where they are. So but here you are jealous of what they have because yeah, and I totally agree with Dewan's point about lack of jealousy. I think that's a very good definition of what it is.
Hmm.
It's your lack of. You don't have this, and therefore
Mhm.
you develop this jealousy versus you don't have this, or I can get something versus
Hmm.
I'm going to be jealous because I lack this one thing that someone else has.
Mhm.
I mean, that could be
Right.
true. And then you have people that are jealous, even if they have more than the other person. You could have, I've seen it. Like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, you have more than me. You're in a higher position than me. Maybe somebody at work. You, you, you
Yeah.
earn way more, but you
Right.
still get jealous of me, and I earn way less than you, right? So sometimes it's not even the jealousy of having less. Sometimes it's just the
Mhm.
jealousy of that person exuding maybe confidence. Maybe that person
Or happiness.
is happy.
Yeah. So it could be
And
like
you're just plain
intangible
not.
Being
things people get
happy
jealous
and
of
content.
too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
sorry.
Yeah. We're getting some of the stuff that you're saying, Dwan, but not completely
Okay.
all of it. So
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I was just saying that sometimes, like you were saying, it can be tangible things, like things that you can physically touch, and then intangible things, like you said, somebody's just has a good personality, somebody's jealous of them. If somebody just seems to be happy, the people can be jealous. If somebody just doesn't need all those things and they still live a good life, so tangible and intangible things can make people jealous.
mm, it's sad to me though. It's sad. It's sad. All right. So excessive monitoring of someone's phones, their social media, their put track on their car. Like, let's talk about that. Like checking their emails.
Hmm.
Is that too much? And if it is too much, how does the person that's feeling and going through all of this even address this situation with their person?
You mean the person that is being checked on or the person that's doing the checking?
The person that's being checked on, because we need some solutions for them too eventually. But like, how is it that they should react? Should they be understanding of it? Should they just be like, hey, I'll just go with the person's flow? How should that person feel in this relationship?
I would think in my fairy tale world that that person should not be offended or hurt by it in my fairy tale world. But actually, it is painful because what it's saying is that this person that keeps checking your social media and checking your phone and checking your whereabouts and wants to put a tracker on you, probably put a tracking device on your vehicle, doesn't trust you. And the feeling that someone you're with doesn't trust you is a very painful feeling. The words of "I can't trust you" are very painful. I think that if this couple has been in relationship for some time, I would hope that at that point, the person either can sit down and say, "Why do you feel that way?" or they already know why they feel that way. I know that you were cheated on before, but I'm not that person. I'm a completely person. I've never cheated on you, and I'm not going to. And having those type of conversations all the time, which I can see can be exhausting for the person that's being checked on. But then too, if you're committed to this person and you're trying to make it work, then you need to be able to see that person change, but you also have some grace and to change also, I think.
I'm surprised you said that. I'm surprised you didn't secure. They're a child. They need to start over. Go get themselves fixed, and then start a relationship.
Well, I am a very strong believer of getting no, listen to me. I am
Yeah.
a very strong believer for me
Mm-hmm.
that you have your baggage together,
Mm-hmm.
because it
Mm-hmm.
all it does is you're carrying this weight on your back in your mind, and you're spilling it onto the other person, and that can break your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, that's me. But in reality, there are people that are in relationships because they want to be in relationships, but they have not gotten rid of their baggage, and that's who I think we're speaking to,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't just say, "Hey, no one be together." Because baggage.
Because everybody has something that they're
Everyone
dealing
has
with.
something. So yeah, for the ones that are, not in that um I want to try to fix myself as much as I can before I get into another relationship, and have the person that I'm with know that that's the path that I'm on, and I want that person to be on that path too, because it just makes our relationship more solid, because there's lots of other things that are going to come and attack us, and us having past baggage be the thing to attack us is just another layer to break us apart. But we are speaking to those who are, just going to do it anyway. Right? So, yes, yes, come on. But yeah, the person that is being checked on, I would hope that you already know this person's insecurities. You guys have spoke about it, and you know that when that person comes at you like that, where it's from, and that you can navigate around that. You know, again, effective communication.
Yeah.
You have to talk about that.
Yeah.
You have to talk a lot about that. And like, why are you insecure? Why do you feel the need to do this? The fact that you don't trust me hurts me. And then and on the other side, understanding that yes, you don't trust me in everything, because there's some things that I'm going to do that's going to be a trigger. But this is something that you need to work on, because this is who I am, and we want to make this work.
Yeah.
Was that good?
It was great. It
Yeah.
was great.
Good.
Go ahead, Dwan. You have
Well, I,
anything
I I agree with
to
everything
add to
Yola
that,
said. I
Dwan?
think a lot of insecurity comes from childhood trauma. Sometimes it's mental health issues that have been unchecked, undiagnosed, that people aren't aware about, or they are aware about and aren't taking the proper steps to make sure that is being managed. So a lot of people checking other people is because of insecurity. Maybe they have fear of abandonment, or they just feel like the person, they have emotional needs that haven't been met. They're like really extra clingy. They constantly need validation. So it's a lot to put on somebody, and sometimes that just comes out as control, because we when we're feeling like we want to control something, this person wants to feel safe and they're not feeling emotionally safe because of all the stuff they unhealed childhood ones they may or may not have. Or they could just
Mhm.
be, sometimes it's just somebody that's just really a jealous person and just wants to be in control. But it's so many checks and balances with
Mhm.
relationships already coming in, having a jealousy of the person. Sometimes that happens too. Like you get in a relationship and then you become jealous of the person because maybe they don't have these insecurities. Maybe they don't need to check in with you and make sure that you are where you say you're going to be because they do trust you. So it's a lot. It's a lot of checks and balances. Like Yola said, an effective communication needed. Some healing needs to be brought into the relationship, and we have to make sure that there's always emotional safety between two people. And if you don't feel like you can handle this,
Mhm.
because a relationship is not easy, then maybe like it's okay to be by yourself and work on those things. So.
Mhm. Mm. Well, you have a lot of women and men that don't like to be alone.
Mhm.
So it's just like I hear you, but I maybe I'll find somebody that will accept where I am and that will want to help me. Like, is that fair for that person to project that upon somebody and that expectation for someone?
No, I don't. It's not fair at all because once, like, yes, you can start the relationship and feel like
I
you.
don't. I okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You
No,
were
no, you
breaking
go
up a
ahead,
little
Dwan.
bit.
Huh?
No, you were breaking up
Oh.
a little bit, Duan. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you go ahead.
Oh, that's so annoying.
You
Okay.
go. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's fair. I don't think you should project your insecurities on other people because they didn't, like Yola was saying, they didn't create those insecurities. Like those insecurities probably come from childhood, from a bad relationship previously, from, like I said, unchecked mental health issues that people just don't want to admit that they have. And for the other person to have to carry that burden now into a relationship and try to make up for it, it's like them trying to mop up the ocean. It's not fair. So no, I don't agree with doing that to somebody.
Mm. Oh, I like
Oh, I
that.
love that.
Right, you're right. You're right.
Right. I agree with Dwan.
Hmm.
I don't think it's fair.
Hmm.
I've been seeing shows lately with me, the social relationship observer.
That's all right.
Me.
Go ahead.
So I've been seeing lately the fairy tale ones
Yeah.
where, there's in shows. Side note. This is why I kind of think some of us in our relationships are a bit skewed and messed up because
Hmm.
we've been information on the television shows that
Yeah.
are fairy tale. It's like it's a thinking that, the marriage is going to be like Cinderella.
Yeah.
We see that, but
Right.
it's actually not like that. So
Hmm.
back to
No.
the topic.
But
Yes,
most shows and most people pay for the marriage.
just like in the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
The yeah, it's like a fairy tale. So I find that, yeah, I agree with what Dawn said. That is a that's
Come on. Yeah, but it really isn't fair, guys. So if you got it,
yes.
let's go.
Okay. Yes, I agree with the one and Kimone and Kimmy Kim.
Mm.
It is not fair to put that burden on the other person. I have seen shows where that has this insecurity, or not as jealous, but this insecurity based on a trigger that the partner has done. And the partner's
Mhm.
response is, you're safe. This is a safe space. And I would never do whatever it was that I did
Hmm.
because you're safe, right? You can be
Yeah.
vulnerable with me. And this is what we want.
Hmm.
This is what we
Mhm.
want. And that is what is portrayed lately on these shows that I'm seeing. in reality, I'm not sure if that, I don't think that really happens as much as I see it on these television shows, but I think that's how it should be. It's not fair for you to do that, but there are relationships where people are insecure and their partner is one that is understanding and patient and compassionate in that struggle that the person's going through until they can trust you. But I don't think it's fair. I don't. That person didn't do anything to you. Whatever it is that's making you insecure should not be that person's burden.
And some people will say, "Hey, I love you so much. I wish you had told me that this is the struggles that you're going through. I can identify with that, and maybe we could go through this together." Now, is that even more toxic? Because now you're both struggling with insecurities, now bonding because of your insecurity.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, wait a minute now, what happens when the insecurities get fixed?
Yeah. Then what?
They're just like, hey, well, I don't need you anymore because that part, that definitely of my life no longer there.
Yeah.
Like now I need to move on to somebody that's healthier as or healthy as I am. Like, what are those dynamics like? Yo?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
I
man.
think that once that toxic thing that's gone,
Mhm.
all of a sudden that bond that brought you together is no longer there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, nothing to rely on now.
Right.
Come on, psychotherapists.
I would hope you bonded on
Please,
other things,
please,
but
please stop
Well,
trauma
maybe
bonding with
not,
people.
maybe
Please
not.
stop.
or maybe do it for what pain.
Oh my gosh. Did it
Not
come
hearing
through?
you, Dwan.
Gosh. I was just saying,
Dwan.
I
Did
would,
she call
if
you?
it would be great if people would stop trauma binding, right? And then some people thrive off toxicity. Like that's what makes their
Trauma
relationship
bonding,
exciting to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just I know you know when you're in a toxic relationship and when it gets too toxic, sometimes it's best to leave. But people get addicted to it. It creates a dopamine high, and they just keep coming back. So I mean, if that's what you like, then go for it. But I would not suggest it if you feel like you guys are just bonding over trauma and bonding over the toxicity. So,
Wow.
but each his own.
Mm, interesting. All right. So we talked about controlling. That could look like also dictating who you can see. Like, I don't want you hanging out with that friend, those friends anymore. Your family, I like them, but why don't you spend some more time with me, right? Clean, like we talked about. I want to tell you you can be around, and if you're around somebody that I don't know, then it's gonna be a problem, right? So we gotta
Yeah.
we gotta look into these things and sorry, I gotta call a comment. But those are the things that can occur.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I saw a post like that the other day.
I want you to only be, and then that causes that person to probably even start lying. Okay, who are you hanging out with? Oh well, I'm at lunch with my coworker, but now I have to tell you it's not a male coworker if it's like opposite sex. Now I'm hanging with Jane, and you know you're really hanging with John.
James.
Right? So then it's like now you have to lie because you know if you ever told her or him, then it will be a problem. All right, we got a caller. Let's see. Caller, where you calling from? Hey, caller. Hey, Lisa. Thanks for calling into the Positive Forces Show. Go ahead, Lisa. We can hear you. What's your comment? Uh huh.
Because I think, that's kind of like one of those words that's just become, a quick fix for everybody. And I think there's maybe a little nuance to it, especially like with the scenario that you talked about. Like maybe, you talk to your partner and they tell you some of the root causes of their stuff, and then maybe you can have common ground with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit different than the way how, like, the nefarious people will try to bond with you over, some of your traumas and stuff, like early in the relationship to kind of have you have that kind of bond, like, that toxic bond with them where it's not really, you think it's safe, but it ends up not being safe because they use that against you. I think that's a little bit different that maybe you're in a relationship with someone for a while and some just you realize, okay, we have some similar experiences. Maybe I'm further along in dealing with it than you are. But, even somebody even talking and can name their issue is different because like Dwan was saying, there's a whole lot of people around with undiagnosed issues. Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
Lisa, we
we're
can
here.
hear you.
Oh, the phone was acting funny. I wasn't sure if you was still on.
Go ahead,
So,
Lisa.
just kind of wanted to add that because one can be a little bit, like different because, I definitely had people use my, you know, you confess someone to a partner and you think it's a safe situation and then they end up turning it. It's not cute. But yeah, just wanted to add that because
And then
that jealousy stuff
what do you do then,
can
Lisa?
be a sign of more controlling behavior coming up. It may start out with that little, playful jealousy that you think is just okay, and then it kind of creeps up. So yeah.
All right, great.
So you were asking me something, Kimone?
Yeah, I was asking. So, what do you do then? What do you do then? After and
When I was
now it's out. What
younger,
do you do? Do you
when I
run?
was younger and dumber, so I kind of let it go, and it literally spiraled into a dangerous situation. Now, yeah, I had to fight my way out of that one. Yeah.
Fight your way out of it, probably physically and mentally, I'm sure. Thank you, Lisa. Thank
All
you
of
so
that.
much, darling, for calling. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Take
See you
care.
later.
Thanks for listening to the Positive Person Show. Yeah, that's good. Those two separate points are very good. Lisa, thank you for that. And
Yeah.
over the dealing with, and then all of a sudden it festers up. Then that's different because you're now in the relationship. You were in the relationship, and then something has now manifested. Something caused it to explode or now be transparent. So then you got to handle that within your relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa, for your comment. And I agree with her that sometimes there are nefarious people
Yes.
that will try to type toxic behavior so that they can control you, and you might not be aware of what's going on. And it can turn into something very dangerous. Duan, do you think that that is separate from a trauma relationship where it is done on purpose? Like what your example was with the you called it, what was it called?
Bonding.
Trauma
Trauma
bonding.
bonding.
Yeah. So do you think, which I think so too. What do you think? Trauma bonding is different or separate to somebody that purposely tries to um, find out what your trauma is and then bond with you over it to, I guess, get control over you or, yeah, to basically control you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
they would purposely come into your life
Just to find
and
out what
purposely
your
find
deficits
out
are.
something that your trauma is and
Mhm,
then bond with you over it. And they may not suffer that trauma,
mhm,
but it's on purpose, this
mhm,
nefarious,
mhm,
narcissistic kind of behavior.
mm.
Yeah. You got.
Rescuer.
Yeah, I think you definitely named it, Yola. Definitely narcissist behavior. Like it's like too. It's like a overlapping. Like if you think of a diorama, like the circles that kind of overlap, like jealousy and trauma bonding, all of this stuff is kind of all in the same circles, right? In the middle is like jealousy. So I think, yeah, all of it is interconnected. And
Mhm.
people that are purposely trauma bonding with you, I think that's in the other circle where, as I was saying, like the undiagnosed kind of stuff, like BPD disorder, like narcissism, antisocial behavior, those people that kind of have those types of mental health issues, somebody that I think would kind of enjoy doing things like that. Unfortunately, trying to see how they can manipulate people and use things like that against them. So it's one and the same, but it's different.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. All right. So what if that said person says, "Hey, you know what? I need you, and I only need you, and I don't want you with anybody else. And if you leave me, I will slice my arm. I will cut myself. If you leave me, I will unalive myself. If you leave me, I will drive over the pit. I just cannot live without you." Now, then you have that situation where you have to deal with because, and then, if that's the first time, and guys, I'm sure almost everybody on here has kind of heard that before, if not for themselves directly, somebody else that went through it. So the thing is now, again, is that fair? We know it's not, right? But let's delve into that because that's a reality. If that's the first time you're experiencing it, you can become fearful, you can become anxious, you can be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's happening, and this is weird, I need to probably step away." Or it could be, "Oh my god, you love me so much that you would not want to live without me, like, wow, I this is feeling good, I would unalive myself for you, like, wow." So now, you know where do we go?
Yeah, I don't think it's fair, of course. I think we all agree with that.
Mhm.
I also don't think that's jealousy or insecurity. I think that's some type of mental illness.
Unrealistic jealousy, it
Yeah,
is.
I also, oh, unrealistic jealousy. Okay.
Mhm.
I also think that it is definitely a way of control. You want to control this person, and that's what and you know that this person is really figured out.
I mean, I've actually experienced that before, and that was something that was like, wait, who? Hold up. I obviously know that something's going on with you, and it's
Right.
mental.
Thank God
Yeah,
you recognize that.
yeah.
'Cause I
That's
think there's
not.
people that don't recognize
Yeah,
that.
that's not a case where, "Oh, I just love you." No, that's
Right.
excessive.
Yeah.
If you want to do that to yourself, then time to go.
Mm-hmm.
You exit fast, guys, because I know I did. Stage left.
It's-
Yeah, you
especially for
have to.
yeah, especially for those of us that definitely don't think that unaliving yourself
Mhm,
is that we think unaliving yourself is a sin,
mhm,
then yes, no,
mm-mm,
absolutely
mm-mm,
not. That could
mhm.
no way, shape, or form be love at
No,
all.
wasn't sticking around to try to help. Wasn't sticking
Yeah.
around to try to be like, "Oh, let's work this out. Let's go to therapy together." No,
Yeah, no.
um, you work that out on your own, and good luck in the future. Because then that weighs heavily now on. Okay, that would weigh heavily now on me.
Absolutely.
That is burdensome. It's stressful. It's
Mhm.
everything negative that you can think of. Because now you're now consumed with the person and their thoughts. You're now that is going to be in the back of your mind, and then you're going to feel like, I can't even leave the person's presence because I don't know if I'm going to come back and they're going to still be here with us on earth. Like, that's a lot to think of, and to get through as somebody, especially if you're not experienced with it or know how to even handle it. So Some might say, "Hey, that's just running." Yeah, but I'm okay to be with being a runner. Yeah,
Like a
go fix
marathon
you. Go
sprinter.
fix yourself. Yeah, go fix
Mm-mm.
yourself.
Yeah, I do wonder if in that situation, if people that say that are not really serious about doing it, and it really is just a way to of mind control.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
also trying to figure it out, whether you're serious or not.
right.
No,
No,
no, that's a lot.
yeah.
That's a lot,
Oh,
guys.
I need to
If you'd like to
say
give
yeah.
us a
Okay,
call,
so
404-916-5138. Let us know your thoughts. Put up together a little bit. All right.
well, I just
We
want to
see
make sure, like,
Richard
oh,
Donegal. Thank you for joining me.
oh, yeah, I just want to say, like,
No, go ahead,
if
Dwan.
you're in this
Sorry, Dawn.
situation with a partner and they are doing this, please make sure that they are not serious. Please don't, if you have the capacity, don't abandon them because that's going to trigger them more. But try to make sure that they do not have a plan. Like, they don't have a plan, that they're not giving things away, that they're not exhibiting behaviors of actually wanting to harm themselves. If they are, please direct them to their nearest ER, right? Or call a trauma hotline. I'm not sure of the one in Georgia, but I think most of the time call 911 if they're actually thinking about harming themselves. And then when people are just sometimes people are just saying this to gain control of the person, to get the person not to leave. Because usually by the time somebody is saying that they want to harm themselves, the other partner is trying to exit the relationship and they're trying to regain control. So it could be that too, but it could be the other thing as well. So just try to
Listen,
make sure.
breaking
Oh
up,
yeah, just try to
Dewan.
make sure that.
Sorry, Dwan,
Oh no.
you were breaking up in
Okay,
your last
I was
point
just saying,
there.
just try if you can assess if they have a plan, if they do take direct them to the ER or to a suicide hotline. If they're just trying to be controlling, then I agree with Kimone, and you probably should leave, but make sure that they, they're not actually being serious about it. A lot of that is just trauma response.
My colleague and friend Patrick Harvey. Hey, Mr. Harvey, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh my God, I love your positivity. I love your spirit as well. So thank you so much. Listen, 988 is a number to call. That's the suicide
Thank
hotline
you.
number. It's just as short as 911. And you can definitely hey, to each their own. That's why you're the psychotherapist and I am not.
Right.
Hey, we're gonna now let's analyze. Do you need to go to ER? No,
Do you have a
you
plan?
then what's the plan? No, no. Listen, my plan is the stage exit left, and then your plan is listen, work it out. Work it
No.
Thank you so much, Dwan, for being on
You're
the show.
welcome.
Our psychotherapist that can tell us
Hey,
what
Dwan,
we
listen.
should do,
Well, I'm keeping it real.
how we should do it.
I am keeping it real with you, dude. Hey, that is my trigger. That's my trigger. How about that? It's not all about you. That's my trigger to go.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's
Oh
my
my
trigger to
gosh.
go. Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, of course, you will. No, no, no. I'm sure you will want to check it out and make sure a little bit. You don't want to just leave on the onset, and you can definitely identify when something is off, when someone is real, when there's a real challenge. You can identify if someone really loves you and they're really going through that, or it says, "Hey, I think you're just trying to be manipulative." You can get the fine tune. You can fine tune it, and if the person really does need to seek help, call that 988 number. And if you feel like you want to do it anonymously, you can. I think at least kind of give them a heads up. Hey, this is a conversation we had, and this is what they said they would do. And I was just letting you know they could document it, and then they'll follow up for you. I don't know what the ramifications could be after that. Just be prepared. If you're going to go into a situation like that, you're prepared for anything and everything afterwards. So, hey,
I would say for those that don't know that's going to happen and it does happen, just be prepared in the ways that Dewan talked about. and the ways that Kimone talked about. Because sometimes you can get into a situation where you don't know the person's going to say that.
Mhm.
You don't know how your relationship is going to go. None of us do. Some of us don't even know what the background person is, of the person that we are getting involved with. So just be aware of those things.
Yeah.
And if it does happen to you, you know how you feel about it and what you're going to do about it.
Mm-hmm. Adifala, you choose radio. Thank you, sir. Thank you, family, for logging in and being with us today. All right, so we got a little bit more time. All right, so again, no, somebody can the average. That's just what they're going to use jealousy to do. And again, please, just be safe, guys, with everything that you do. All right, we're talking today about causes of insecurity and jealousy in a relationship. So you can give us a call at 404-916-5138 if you have a comment. If you'd like to be on our show, give us a no, don't give us a call. You got to send us a message. Send us a message. And once you send us a message, we will definitely talk. If you're an entrepreneur and you would like to spread your business and you'd like other people to know about what you're doing in the community, please let us know if you would like to be a part of the show. All right. So, how about struggling with perfection? When someone struggles with perfection within themselves, and that can cause insecurity as well.
Yeah, I think it can cause both insecurity and jealousy
Mm-hmm.
when you yourself are struggling to be perfect
Mm-hmm.
and not realizing that no one is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we all struggle with that. I think that there's parts of perfection that we put on ourselves that we don't realize that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And we look at other people and see it could be a body type. You could want, I mean, I think that's the easiest one in my head.
Yeah.
It could be a body type that you want, that you see someone else has, and you're struggling with getting that, and you're just not getting it. But you see someone else has it, and that makes you insecure. And I even think that could happen in a relationship where your partner is not supportive of, say, your weight loss or weight gain for some people. And so you're trying to get this. I also think that's why some people get plastic surgery. They're looking for this perfection, this type of body type. Or in relationship, you're looking at my partner works out and they always look good, and look how easily they lose weight, and I can't. And then that person is not supporting you in your weight loss or weight gain journey, and you become insecure and jealous. You might start covering up yourself, or you might start even criticizing your partner, which is something that we talked about in the last time, part one of this topic. But yeah, that's a very dangerous part. I think that perfection, that needing to be perfect, and I think it goes beyond body type. It can be even one is on a different trajectory than the other. You might have some competition in there, which can lead to insecurity and jealousy, or perfection where you're ignoring the person that you're with because you're trying to be perfect. You want to get the perfect whatever it is of your career. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if they're on social media and they give. I seen some of it.
Yeah. There are documentaries of that specific thing scenario that
Oh.
you just talked about, Kimmy,
Yeah.
where the ship social media second snippets of the great life, but it isn't all roses. And so yeah, if you're not careful, you can become jealous or all consumed in what they're and
Yeah.
put those unrealistic expectations on yourself, but also on your partner.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dwan.
What was the question?
There's a
That was
quote.
breaking up.
Comparison is the thief. What? The thief of joy.
Oh, I don't know it.
Go ahead, Dwan.
I missed the question. I'm sorry. It was breaking up.
Yeah. What was the question point? It was about perfection. Yeah, it was about perfection.
Just perfection in self. You missed all of that.
No, not all of it.
Right.
I heard her. I heard the
Starting
answer,
with
but I still
perfection.
it's breaking up. Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
It's live radio. What can you do?
Oh man.
Oh my god. All right. All right. Let's move on. Silent treatment.
What about it?
The silent treatment, sulking, that too is a part of somebody deciding that they want to psych that person out to say, hey, I don't want to be without you. Never apologizing is also another thing. The one I'm just continuing because I forgot the question. I just want to make it clear. All right. So, not apologizing, never apologizing for
Hmm.
their wrongs, right? Never apologizing for their wrongs. Hey, I'm always right. You're always right. You're always wrong. The perfection in me wanted to say, you're less than, that never apologizing. That's huge. That's a
Hmm.
very big problem that eventually kill a relationship. Why? Because I think for the first couple of times something occurs and you don't apologize, you can sweep it under the rug. You could just, a lot of people don't know how to apologize, one, and some people will bring a gift to the person. They will do something nice, an act of service, and that would be their form of apology. It's never the words coming out of their mouth. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, why do people struggle with verbalizing that they are sorry, being vulnerable to somebody else?
I think, like you said, those are definitely relationship killers, and a lot of that is somebody trying to gain control of the conversation or the relationship. So it's a power and control thing. That's what those things typically are, because what you're doing is taking away the person's ability to be heard and putting all the power in your hands. So I think
Hmm.
a lot of that is just power and control, trying to show the other person, like trying to make sure that the other person knows that their opinion doesn't matter to you, that you don't want to hear what they're saying, and things like that. But sometimes it can also be that you just need a minute to take away from the person to regroup. But you need to say that. But I'm not saying anything.
Repeat that,
It,
Dwan. Power and control.
no, I was saying that's a power and control. So you trying to exhibit control over the person by not
Hmm.
allowing them to be heard. So you're taking the power away from the conversation when there's not a back and forth, when you're just only allowing your emotions to be met in that moment. So I think a lot of that is more so power and control, and those things that those dynamics that people use to basically not have cut off the lines of communication. So
Mm.
I think that one reason that a person might use those tactics is they don't know because that's what was used on them, whether it
Mm.
was when they were a child
Hmm.
or in their past relationship. And since that's all that they know, they carry that on into the relationship and do that to you. Even though it's wrong, and even though they know deep down inside how it made them feel, it's all that they know. That's what they use.
So apology a learned.
Um, I want to say it's a bit of a learned behavior, but it also has to do with being empathetic and really feeling sorry or compassionate about what you did that made that person feel the way they did. I also think it's learned because, like parents and children, if a child does something, you tell them to apologize. How else are they supposed to know that without you telling them apologize?
Somebody teaching them.
I don't like how I'm the parent.
Mhm.
I don't like how you spoke to me in that. All the child is doing in their innocence is either pushing boundaries to see how far they can go, or they really just don't know because they're not born with instructional manuals, right?
I like that.
Yeah, they don't know. So you are the one teaching them to apologize. And I think that even in relationships, people that can talk to each other in that way can and will say, I didn't like how you spoke to me this way. Can you apologize? Or it's probably not the right to this is not the right way to say this. I expect an apology. That's not the right way to say it, but I think you understand where I'm coming from. You're trying to let that person know that you felt this way and you need an apology to move past it. If that person receives that or not that you're saying is a whole other story, but it would be nice if they received that. And in that, they would be learning you and to apologize for that. But in the kid parent scenario, yeah, I think it's learned. How else are you supposed to learn if someone's not teaching you to apologize when you do something that offends somebody, hurts somebody's feeling, or is just rude or just not right? There's no way else you would know. And then, of course, having that natural feeling that I can see when I said that, the person's face, the way they felt, the way they responded to me makes me feel like I should apologize. So it's a bit of both.
Yeah. Okay. Anything on that, Dwan?
Yeah, I think that is a lack of empathy. If somebody can, if they're not able to like read social cues or body expressions, and sometimes that could also be either lack of empathy, or some people just can't read social skills, and it might be maybe they are artistic and they just can't understand the social cues and don't have that type uh, of innate empathy for others. So it could be a lot of things, or they could just be um, I'll say this antisocial, and they just don't have they just don't want those skills or don't have those skills. So you could be born that way, it could be learned that way, and it could be, and this is somebody that's just not just a sadist that just doesn't want to, just likes to see people suffer. So it's just it could be a lot of things.
Crazy sadist. Oh my god.
Mm.
Well, I say to anybody that expects an apology, don't sit there and wait for one. Figure out a way to be able to move on, because some people never get an apology, and some people sit waiting for years. Some people mourn the loss of someone that never even gave them the apology, and that person is 6'6", right? And then they're dealing with that in their life. So I think that you're not owed anything. Nobody owes you an apology for anything, even though you were wronged by it. I just think that if the person I just think don't expect it. Yes, you can be owed it. Yes, you deserve it. Everybody, you deserve it. But just don't hold on to it to say, I have to get it before I can be able to move on. My thing is just, if you don't get it, learn how to navigate through that, past that, so that you can be healthy mentally. If not, it's going to be a struggle. That's what I think.
Mhm.
But
I
it's
I
no. We can.
I don't think that should be something that should occur in a relationship. I don't think if it's somebody that you're no longer and is not going to apologize.
True.
Yes, do what you have to do to get over it because you
True.
are never going to get an apology,
True.
and you will be sitting there waiting in vain, and you might miss out on the love of your life,
True.
also known as your sixth soulmate, because you are expecting an apology from someone who's never going to give it to you, and you're not together anymore. But in a relationship,
True.
I think that not so much I don't know. Help me out, Kimmy and Dwan. I don't know if the word is an expect an apology in a relationship, but I think you should have an
No,
apology.
I'm honey. I'm getting it.
Be able to,
You gonna apologize?
be able to apologize and be able to get an apology in a relationship. I think
Yeah.
that has to happen. It has to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not relationship. You guys broke up. Yeah, fine, whatever.
I
I'm good.
deviated. I
But
deviated.
in a relationship, you have to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, on both sides, you have to have that.
Yeah. And some people
Gotta
don't,
have it.
and their relationship becomes toxic. But if
Mhm.
it's gonna be a flourishing relationship, you have to have it.
You have to have it.
Period. Now you can unperiod that for me, Dawn, if you feel like it. But
No.
that's a period.
No.
Period. I like got some things today. I hope somebody is writing these things down because they are golden nuggets. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. It's time for finals.
Oh man.
Yes.
Oh, final thoughts. The part that I don't like because I just love to chop it up with Kimmy Kim and Dewan the One
Sure.
on the Positive Forces show.
For
And
sure.
I just love talking to you guys and having you guys hear what I think and what's going on in this brain of mine and having you guys tell.
Oh, hi everyone. I think they'll be back in a second. So, if you have any
So
questions,
I just
put them
love
in the chat.
live radio. You know what? That's awesome though. If the one got our back,
Yeah.
I can work with it.
Well, live radio. So, guess we will just wait till they get back. And here they are.
And here we are.
Here we are.
So, quick. I love chopping it up with Kimone and Dwan. Okay. And moving forward this week, my final thought is let's try to identify if we are communicating effectively with our loved ones, our coworkers, and people that we meet throughout the day. And if you're not, try to find ways to do that. And see how it makes you feel. And then let's come back and check in with each other on effective communication.
Yes.
Final thoughts, Dawn.
Well, I would say mine's really quickly. I think that there's going to be insecurity, there's going to be jealousy in any relationship that you're in, but you have to be able to check it and kind of go into self and ask what this is really about. See it's something that you can manage on your own. So I think inner dialogue is very important, and we sometimes think it's weird to talk to ourselves, but I think it's really something that's needed in order to keep stuff like that in check. So always having inner dialogue to keep a check or manage insecurity and jealousy is going to help a lot in relationships. So.
Yes.
Wonderful.
We love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. Take care of yourself, take care of your minds. Make sure that you are praying about everything that you do. Ask God to guide you. And if you're in a relationship that is no longer serving you, make sure it's make your exit right, if you can, or just don't get in it at all. If something occurs, something happens that will now change the whole flow of the relationship, make sure you're ready for it. And you can get a therapist, you can get help from someone that can help you to navigate through. But from us here at the Positive Forces Show, keep it positive. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us. You choose Radio Viscosity Blend, Zion Highness Radio, and Reggae Global Radio family. We love you. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Good night, everybody.
We love you.